All right, we'll call the Center County Commissioners Tuesday, January 30th meeting to order at 10 o'clock. Those who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any public for comment here for items that are not appearing on today's agenda? We've got a nearly full room, so I wanted to check. All right, we'll move on. I believe actually our County Administrator, John, will have a very small de minimis addition to the agenda today.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. In accordance with Act 61 of 2021, which amends the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act, it allows for an agency to change an agenda within the 24-hour threshold, provided that the changes are de minimis, involve no expenditure of funds, and do not entail entering into a contract. Within the last 24 hours since the agenda was posted, we have received a request for a letter of support for the Center County Historical Society in relation to pursuing a grant under the Act America 250 PA Infrastructure Improvement Program. So with that, I would humbly propose that there would be a motion to add the requested letter of support to today's agenda, and then we will repost within 24 hours the amended agenda.
I will move to amend the agenda to include the proposed letter of support.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to add a proposed letter of support for the Center County Historical Society. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We will add the item toward the end of the agenda under Section 10, letters of support. We'll now move on to our meeting minutes. Any change to those minutes? No. Take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held January 23rd, 2024.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the meeting held on January 23rd. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And now we'll move to proclamations. We have our fourth proclamation of 2024 proclaiming February. We're getting ready a little bit early, but proclaiming February as Career and Technical Education Month in Center County. And we have a number of representatives here from State High, Central Pennsylvania Institute, and South Hills. Shall we bring you up maybe in that order? We'll start with State High. I think we've got Ben. If you'd like to approach the podium and say a few words on how important career and technical education is, not just to our students, but to all the citizens of Center County.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the opportunity. We're very fortunate in the community of State College to have a lot of support from our local stakeholders in the community that feel that career technical education is very important. It's something we strive for, really, starting in kindergarten on up through high school. We have a STEM program, and we start to expose and motivate students to get involved and start thinking about their careers. At the high school, we have about 30 teachers who teach career and technical education. We're educating around 1,400 students out of a population of about 2,500. So it's something that, in their 4-year high school experience, most of our students are going to experience, and we just think, the life skills that they develop, the networking, and just an awareness to the world around them is something that we really appreciate, and we appreciate all your support and everything that you can do to help us in that endeavors.
Great. Well, Ben, I've had tours of all three of the schools that are here today, but you do have a very, very nice CTC center at State High. Commissioner Concepcion, anything you'd like to say about State High?
Sure, yeah. So I think one of the great things about the way State College is conducting its career and technical education is encouraging all students to take elective courses from within the CTC courses. And it really allows students to kind of dabble in what kind of careers might they be interested and have some experiences in certain career tracks before they're making decisions after high school. And, for many of our students at State High who are going on to 4-year degree programs, having those experiences in high school helps give them some exposure so that when they start college, they're not completely, starting fresh without having some of those experiences, including workplace experiences that you're able to provide to students. So, yeah, it's important programs. And my son did 4 years in one of the CTC programs, and it was really critical for him and his career path. So,
Wonderful. Commissioner Dershowitz for State
I just
High.
I guess it's going to apply to all three schools. Tell us the programs that you're most proud of and that that you want to highlight, or some of the things that makes your program special.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very, very proud of all of them. Our teachers are just amazing people. It's amazing coming from industry back to education and devoting their time to that. We have a very strong health education with our certified nursing assistant program and our sports therapy program. We do a lot of amazing clinical placements at Mount Nittany and several of the other long-term care facilities. We have a tremendous auto tech program, auto technology. We have construction, our early childhood education. We're actually working with real-life preschool and after-school care. Our culinary arts does so much help with the school district of catering, our athletic events, some of our to-go meals, things like that. It's really hard, to mention them all, but there's just so much going on. I think the biggest thing is it just gives our students a reason to come to school. Some students that might not enjoy coming every day, it's like that reason to get out of bed and make sure they're there and not let the team down. And it's just really amazing to see how and where some of these students end up after graduation.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Ben. Thanks for coming, and I think we'll move on now to our next school. We've got a number of representatives here from CPI. If all four of you would come up, just kind of wrap around the table. We've got mics for almost everybody.
Yeah, come have a seat.
Yeah, come on over.
Well, let's see here, as best we can.
Yeah.
Try.
Okay, so my name is Jessica Martin.
Oh, can you talk into one of the
yeah,
microphones?
yep,
Otherwise, they
yeah.
can't hear you on
Okay,
CNET.
sorry. So my name is Jessica Martin. I'm the Vice President of Secondary Education at CPI. And thank you for having us here. I always love the opportunity when we can highlight our students, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say about career and technical education. But from my standpoint, it is the backbone of America. And you can see that now with all these wanted signs that are all over surrounding our towns. And it's our students that are going to fill those jobs. And they are learning how to not only become young adults, but prosper and be citizens of tomorrow. So they are amazing. So I'd love the opportunity to introduce Samantha Brown. Samantha is a senior, and she's in our early childhood education program at CPI, and she is also a district winner of Skills USA. So Samantha, can you come up and say a few words?
Yeah, Skills is a great group.
Hi. So like she said, I'm a senior, so I've been going to CPI for about 3 years now. My home school is Penns Valley. CPI was a very big change from Penns Valley originally because Penns Valley is so small. It was just weird being in a whole group together. But I think that sense of community and coming together with the other schools really helped in developing like my talking skills and learning how to interact with other people. Our program itself, my teacher is amazing. Her name is Mrs. Gearhart. And we had the opportunity our first year to go into their Head Start program and to work with the kids there. Because I had developed in my studies a little bit faster than the other kids, I had the opportunity my second year to go out on an internship with a teacher at Penns Valley, which I spent most of the year on that, which was awesome to be with the school that had raised me and to see it from the other side, the teacher side, which CPI and Penns Valley together allowed me to do. This last year, I've been going to work at a daycare in Millheim, and I've been doing that through CPI, which is amazing because CPI has set me up that I can be in a room with kids alone and teach them, and I am qualified to do that. Some of the other people that come into the program, come into the daycare, and they're older than me, they're maybe double my age, can't do that. they don't have the ability to do that. And it's kind of awesome to me to see that and to be a part of that.
Great, yeah, those certifications are important. Who would you like to bring up next, Jessica?
Next, I'm actually going to bring up Lucas Confer. He's our other secondary student. Lucas is in our collision repair program, and he's going to tell you what CTE means to him.
Hi, I'm Lucas Confer. I am in the collision repair program at CPI. CTE means a lot to me. There were very tough times throughout my high school career that there were down times and up times, and overall, not something I would say I enjoyed. But as soon as I have entered CPI, I have prospered so much further in life. I can definitely say I have smiled a lot more. My program is an amazing program. My teacher, I vow to always, make him proud. He's definitely taught me a lot. I have competed in actually state programs through Skill USA now. I've competed my second year. This is my third year now. It's definitely a great facility. It teaches you a lot, allows you to develop communication skills. I've earned a lot of certifications. I think up to a total of 38 now that are within my field. I do have a few jobs actually lined up after, which is another thing a CPI can help you do, which is help you advance your career and help you get jobs outside of your secondary education, which is amazing. I'm not sure how many facilities allow students to do that, but CPI is definitely one, and education has helped me move forward so much in life. I would say CPI has changed my life dramatically and definitely for the better.
Great, well, thanks, Lucas, very inspiring. 38 certifications. Oh, my goodness.
And now we have Morgan Goodman. Morgan is an adult student at CPI in the medical assistant program. So Morgan, welcome.
Hi, I'm Morgan Goodman, and I've been attending CPI for about half a year now. I graduated from Bellefonte, and for the first 2 years after graduation, I actually attended St. Francis University. And I found out it wasn't really for me, and I wish that I had found CPI before I looked into other choices. And since going there, I have really succeeded with all of my classmates, and my professor has really pushed me to be the best I can be. At CPI, I don't feel like I'm just a number to the faculty and staff. Everyone's always very supportive of what you do, and I feel like if I were to fall behind or ever need help or assistance in anything, I can reach out to anyone at that school, and that's something I never got to experience at other schools that I've looked at, and I just really appreciate everything that they do and what they have been doing to help prepare me for my future. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. Very inspiring, always great to hear from the students. Commissioner Concepcion, anything you'd like to add for CPI?
Yeah, so it's really great to hear from students who are having these great experiences, and those connections to the workplace are just so important as you're really seeing the purpose of how you're devoting your studies and why you're working on what you're working on. I think CPI is really unique in that it's a collaboration among 3 school districts in our county that came together like 40 years ago. I think it was in the 80s, right? When it was established. Oh, even earlier, because I knew there was the authority that was established in that era. So, that collaboration has meant that there's just an increased amount of opportunities for all of the students from those districts, including other districts in the county who do send students to CPI as well. So it's really, I think, is providing these, really purposeful opportunities for students. I've had the chance to have lunch at CPI a number of times with the culinary arts program, and it's just always really impressive what they are accomplishing there. Really excellent meals. So that's been some of my direct experience with CPI. And it's, really important that we have programs that provide for adult students who are going back to their studies as well. So I'm really glad to hear about your experience there.
Commissioner Dersham, I know you've had a long affiliation with CPI.
Yeah, we've had Center County government and CPI has a long-standing working relationship. That's where our public safety training site is, and you folks make that happen, and you make a lot of other good things happen for our community. We're very proud, both before and after you graduate high school. There's lots of programs, and I just want to say thank you for the collision repair program, because unfortunately that's one of the programs that more often than not we need good people out there with all the trades, but that's one particularly that I think I've taken advantage of over the years. So, so thank you for that. And you've got, I think all the schools have a tremendous health basis in your training, and I think that's really important for our community, because once again, the need for trained professional folks in the healthcare, all disciplines is very necessary as our society ages. So thank you all for that, and the great job you do, and thank you for coming in this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming in from CPI. I don't know if staff did this on purpose, but we started out with the State College Area High School, which is high school students, CPI, which is a combination of high school and adult learners, and now we'll transition to South Hills, which is, I think, pretty much exclusively more adult learners. We have Jeff, Jen, and Maddie, and I think one of you is a student in there.
I think Matt is. So Maddie's your student.
All right.
Hello, all. I'm Jeff Stahusky. I'm Director of Outreach for South Hills School. Been there going on 37 years now, so I've spent a good deal of the lifespan of South Hills School in general, which has been around for 54 years, as an employee there, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. One of the big things is our motto is teaching people, changing lives, and I get an opportunity to watch that happen every year, so it's a great thing. Anyhow, thank you so much for acknowledging the value and necessity of career and technical education in the county. We're happy to be part of that ecosystem in Center County and Center Region, where we are actively soliciting input from our employers to develop programs that are in need in our region. Last year, I had an opportunity to introduce you to a couple of folks from our technical programs. Last year, we talked with Trish Turner, the director of our diagnostic medical sonography program. That's our largest medical program at the school right now. We train folks that go out to hospitals and medical centers all over the East Coast, all over the Mid-Atlantic. And we also had a chance to introduce an employer who utilizes and has utilized our technology graduates for the last 30 years. Phil Cahill from RBA Data Systems. RBA at one point, I'm not sure if they're still do it, Mark, but at one point they were IT support for the county. I don't know if they still do that anymore. Yeah. But they did, and they do it for other counties in the area. They also develop and deploy tax software for municipalities all over the state. Phil and RBA Data Systems have been hiring our grads for over 30 years. This year, I thought it would be great to bring in a couple of representatives from our school from one program that directly impacts a lot of different departments within the county and within the local municipalities. And so today, I'm happy to introduce to you two folks from our criminal justice program, the department head, Jennifer Stover, and one of our soon-to-graduate students, Maddie Mazes. So first, Jen?
I brought a cheat sheet.
All right.
After all these years, I still get a little nervous when speaking in public. You'd think with my criminal justice background, that wouldn't be the case, but I'd like to begin by thanking all of you for recognizing us during Career and Technical Education Month. We are very grateful to be here for the opportunity to tell you about what I feel is an extremely valuable program for this community. The Criminal Justice Program at South Hills is a 2-year associate degree program where we train students to become police officers, corrections officers, juvenile caseworkers, private security officers, and other specialists in the criminal justice field. We are a very hands-on program that focuses on the skills necessary to succeed upon entry into one of these positions. We teach them skills such as crime scene investigation techniques, emergency response procedures, handcuffing and pepper spray certifications, etc. To complete their education, students then complete an internship in the field where they continue to get hands-on instruction and learn from the best in our field. Our graduates are now successfully serving in many agencies in this community, including the Center County Sheriff's Office, who we absolutely love. He was just with us yesterday for a presentation to CPI students for Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. The Public Defender's Office, the Center County Correctional Facility, and Central County's Youth Center. We also have graduates working in our local and state police agencies. As a former investigator from the state of Pennsylvania, I cannot begin to tell you how important it is to train and prepare individuals to serve in our communities, to fight for justice and keep our communities safe. I'm proud to say that our program has been doing that just for a little over 15 years now. So that being said, what makes me the proudest of our program are the students that have come through the program, and they're continuing the fight, and they want to serve the community and serve our public. So that leads me to introduce Maddie Mazza, who is a second-year student who's doing something a little different than what we normally get in our program. But every once in a while, we have somebody that comes through and decides they want to take the legal side. So I'll let her tell you about that.
Thank you, Jen. Hello, as Jen said, my name is Madison Mazza. I am a second-year criminal justice student at South Hills. And ever since I was young, I always knew I had a fascination with everything criminal justice. It wasn't actually until recently that I discovered my interest in the legal side of criminal justice. And coming out of high school, I knew that I didn't really want to go through a 4 years of schooling to reach my goals. And so South Hills was actually perfect for me because in 2 years I could achieve an incredible education without having to spend time to do things that I wasn't really passionate about. So, of course, I chose to do the legal side of criminal justice. Actually, I found my interest through some law classes that I have taken during my time at South Hills. And as for the internships that Jen had mentioned, I have chosen to pursue a position at a district attorney's office in Lycoming County. So I am very, very excited for that. And after that, I plan to attend Seton Hill University to further my education and achieve my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And then I intend to move on to law school to become a practicing lawyer. So that's my final goal there. South Hills, I believe, has given me a very, very solid base to confidently achieve any goal that I would dream of. And I believe that the education that I have learned, that I have attained from South Hills, has led me on a path of success for any criminal justice career that I could have chosen. And I believe that it has the ability to do that for any student that welcomes the challenge and desires to learn. So I want to thank you guys for recognizing South Hills for the Career and Technical Education Month. Thank you all.
Great, thanks, Maddie. Well, we've heard from all three schools, very broad variety of programs covering practically any field you could think of. And I know here with Center County, as was mentioned just a minute ago, we hire a lot of graduates, of course, from State High, from CPI, from the three schools that feed CPI, and South Hills. I think for a while there, we had a South Hills graduate in the commissioner's office nonstop for at least a dozen years. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions, any comments on South Hills?
Yeah, just thanks for sharing what you're doing with criminal justice, since that's really, ties in with a lot of what the county's role is in the community in terms of all of those different components of criminal justice. And it's great to hear how students are getting that kind of in-depth training before they even go into the field by, taking those courses at South Hills. And it sounds like it really does open doors to, further, going into further education in those areas if that's what you want to do. And now you have a better understanding of what you might be interested in studying in those areas and what you might want to specialize in. So it's really inspiring to hear about, the path that you're on, Maddie. So yeah, thank you for your work, and it's clearly, really, these are important careers to our community in terms, these are like crucial services that we need to have young people considering as career paths. So thanks for opening those doors.
Maddie, I think you've kind of hit an area which you have a lot of strengths. So you're an amazing public speaker. You present yourself incredibly well, and look forward to seeing you do some amazingly great things in the future, because it sounds like your goals are very lofty, and at the same time, I think for you, very achievable. So I'm very happy to have met you and to congratulate you on a bright future. So thank you very much, and the entire South Hills crew. You obviously know how to pick them and get it done right. So thank you.
So we'd like to thank all three schools for coming here today, for talking about the critical importance of career and technical education. As was mentioned, there are so many help wanted signs out there for people who have these certifications, these associate's degrees, where you can start working immediately and the pay is good, and there's a very good career track in the future for those fields. So I think what we'll do is
But
we'll.
before we, I
Yes.
have one last thing I think we need to talk
Yeah.
about, and that is, our workforce. I think when, Jeff, you probably started, when all of us remember, just decades ago, career and technical education probably wasn't a priority. But as we see the workforce change and the way it has over the last several years, we realize that as so many tradespeople and skilled laborers and skilled technicians leave our workforce, we really, really need that backfilled with quality folks. And it's your charge to go out there and do that and make sure that all these professions have the inventory of bright souls that they require. And I just want to say thank you for all you're doing, because that's what makes our community so vibrant and bright. Because whether you're fixing cars or watching our children or keeping us safe, I mean, the world goes on and on and on of all the things that, or in the case of the medical services, some of us, as we get a little older, might be seeing you a little more often than we'd like. But we need you, and that's what this is all about. And you providing the resources for these young folks to be successful is pretty amazing, and we're very, very blessed to have you all. So thank you.
That's a good one, Steve. We need you. So thanks for coming. We'll approve the proclamation, then we'll probably have about our largest group picture here since we had the 4-H kids here a few months ago.
That's all good.
Yeah.
So I will move to adopt Proclamation 4 of 2024, proclaiming February 2024 Career and Technical Education Month in Center County.
I will second that, but why don't we just make it a whole year and just follow it through? But, no, I will second that.
All right. So we have motion and second to adopt proclamation number 4, proclaiming February as Career and Technical Education Month in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No nays? Very good. Now we've got 3 different proclamations, so if everybody would file up, we'll push the chairs way over. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Why don't we have you come over towards the
Congratulations.
flag?
What a pleasure.
Come on over, let's have some students from the schools hold their proclamations.
Maddie?
Yeah, Maddie, why don't you get in more toward the center there?
Congratulations.
Thank you. The other students.
Yeah, we'll kind of scooch in here a little bit. We might need to make 2 rows, I'm not sure how we do this. Fit
The
everybody
people
in
on the
there.
wings can rotate a little bit. Let's see.
Can you fit us all in there, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm gonna move these mics back a little bit.
All
They're
right.
not there. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for coming in.
Proclamation
Amazing.
with you.
Keep up the good work.
And we'll get a copy of the picture out to your representative.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Never come in.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And keep us in mind for
Yes.
future career
I will
opportunities.
do. I will.
The DA's office,
Thank you.
and a public defender's office, and a probation department.
Will definitely be at the top of my list.
All right, very good. All right. We will move on to another important item, bids and proposals. We have the results back from our Centercrest building renovation. Was it invitation for bids? I'm trying to remember the abbreviation, John.
It was just a open bid.
Open bids.
Yeah.
So John will cover the bid awards for the Centercrest building renovation. Take it away, John.
Okay, thank you. So if you recall, we entered into a bid review period on January 18th, and since then, we've held de-scope meetings with the apparent low bidders just to work through the final details and see if there were any questions about any of the math that was submitted relative to the bids. That has all been completed and satisfactory. So before you are the list of prime contractors. So staff is recommending the award of the following primes. For general trades, GM McCrossin Incorporated. For heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, Ainsworth Ingenuity. Plumbing, again, Ainsworth Ingenuity. And for electrical, Hallstrom Clark Electric. So the anticipated notice to proceed is February 12th. If you were to take action to award these primes, we would then go into a period where the contractors and any subcontractor qualifications, certifications, performance and payment bonds, and certificates of insurance would be secured. So with that, we are requesting a motion to award prime contractors as presented.
Great, thanks, John. I know GM McCrossin is right here in Bellefonte, and as general trades, they'll be covering about half of the dollar value of the complete contracts. I believe Ingenuity's out of Mechanicsburg, PA. I think Ainsworth is their parent company, who isn't local. And then Hallstrom Clark Electric, I believe, is out of the DuBois area. So relatively local contractors for the most part. I'll turn over to Commissioner Concepcion for comments or questions.
Yeah, no, just really sort of relieved and excited to be moving forward with this project with, bids that came in the ballpark of what we were expecting. So I think some good credit goes to, our architect, the Massaro Construction Management, who did the estimating on what our costs would be, and all of our county administration for getting this project to this point.
Great, Commissioner Dershowitz.
I'm good.
All right. Yeah, as Amber was mentioning, it was a lot of work to put this together. Would also mention the facilities department as well. But the architect did a great job. In fact, I believe several of the contractors complimented his level of detail. And of course, working with a construction management firm is critical for projects of this relatively large size. And glad to hear that, things came in fairly close to budget estimates.
Which I think speaks to the value of working with a company like Massaro
Yes.
so that you're having really good estimating as you're working through a project and
Yes.
with the design process.
Yeah. Yeah, so unless there's anything else, I think we could take a motion to award the prime contractors.
I will move to award the prime contractors as presented for the Centercrest building renovation.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to award the prime contractors as presented for the Centercrest building renovation. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, we'll move on now to contracts. We've got Norm from Emergency Communications 911 about a discontinuing a little project.
Good morning. Consider approval A contract amendment with Tyler Technologies, removing the CAD interface applications of NextGen 911, Text to 911 with Entrado and West, and removing the Pima Knowledge Center from the Tyler Technologies maintenance contract. The regional SAC directors made a decision not to integrate these into our CAD system, so this amendment removes the application from the upcoming Tyler maintenance contract. The change will go into effect on March 31st, 2024. Important note, we will continue to have Text to 911 that's integrated into our phone system. It's just not going to be integrated into our CAD system.
Good, that was going to be my question.
Yes.
Just to the public, we're not discontinuing texting to 911.
Right. It's integrated with the phone system.
All right. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
I think so, that answered it.
All right. Commissioner Dershowitz?
You're good, thank you.
All right.
I'll move to add the discontinuation of said applications with Tyler Technologies to next week's consent agenda.
I will second it.
We have motion and a second to add the discontinuation of said applications with Tyler Technologies to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, Norm. All right, we'll move on to Human Services. Julia has several contracts to cover.
Good morning. The first is one for Children and Youth Services, and it's asking you to consider the approval of a contract with Forget Me Not Children and Youth Services. This is to provide emergency shelter and group home care. This is a group home out of Philly. They are willing to take children who are duly adjudicated, meaning both dependent and delinquent, and also accept children with complex needs. So this contract total is for $30,000. The state is $24,000, and the county share is $6,000. The next is consider of the approval of the Adoption and Foster Care Analysis and Reporting System, otherwise lovingly known as AFGARS. AFGARS are directly related to funding that Children and Youth Services gets, Act 148 funding for the placement costs for children who are in the care and custody of Children and Youth Services. So this contract is going to allow for Avanco International Incorporated, who does the Child and Accounting Profile System, otherwise known as CAPS. And so this is going to help CAPS be able to give the state AFGAR's information so that we are reporting accurate information. So this CAPS is a system shared by 56 counties, and so all counties share in the cost. So Center County share is $3,236,088, with the county's portion being $647.38. So those are my two contracts for children and youth.
Great, thanks for covering those, Julia. And it's unfortunate, but we are seeing more and more children with complex needs, and we
Sure.
need to find places that will handle them and work with them while they're in the county's care.
Yes.
So thanks for finding another supplier and facility for that type of service. Commissioner Concepcion,
All good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
As well.
All right.
I'll move to add the Children and Youth Services items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
We'll second that.
We have motion and a second to add the Children and Youth Service items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. And Julie, I think you have an item for aging as well.
I do. So this is to consider approval of a grant renewal. So this grant is with Aging and the Department of Human Services. And instead of doing a new grant, DHS has asked to just extend the current existing grant. So that's what this will do. The grant is for $33,958. That is the exact same amount that we had last year, and so we believe that it will be the exact same amount this year. And this is used to provide information and referrals on home community-based waiver and medical assistant programs. So this helps our folks up at Aging inform and educate and assist their population with medical assistance and waivers.
Great. Any questions from other commissioner on that?
Well, good.
We'll take a motion then.
I will move to add the grant with Department of Human Service and Pennsylvania Department of Human Services to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the grant with the Department of Human Services and Pennsylvania. All right, it's kind of a double that we're there. So anyway, to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
All right, we have a very small consent agenda.
I will move to approve this week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll now move to Section 10, Letters of Support. We'll start with our first item, which is considering approval of a letter of support for the Roland Curtin Foundation to apply through the America 250 for grant funding toward the Center Rail Excursions Project for the preservation of Eagle Furnace. And we have Sue and Phil here for that. Why don't you come on up and explain the project? And I believe the Bellefonte Historical Railroad Society is involved in there somewhere, too.
Yes, that is correct. So as you know, I am Sue Hannigan, and Phil Ruth is with me today. I am the president of the Roland Curtin Foundation. Phil is the vice president of the foundation. And we are here asking for your consideration to provide a letter of support on our behalf to seek funding for the reconstruction of rail elements that are now gone at Curtin, but were once there. So the request to the America 250 PA program is $2.3 million to reconstruct the company store, the railroad station, and the siding, and the amenities that are needed to make that a premier destination for rail excursions in Centre County and beyond. That's essentially what we're asking for. It's a great opportunity. We intend to start that project as soon as we receive acknowledgement, if we're lucky to be in those shoes, to receive acknowledgement to proceed with construction anticipated for the semi-quincentennial in July 2026. So I'd be glad to answer any history questions. Phil's great at answering those questions.
Yes.
But if you have any questions about the grant in more detail, I'll be glad to answer those as well.
Well, great. Thanks for coming, Sue and Phil. We appreciate it. And, of course, Curtin Village and Eagle Furnace, it's an amazingly well-preserved site just outside of Milesburg. And I'm sure the Adventure Bureau would love it if we had a train stop there. But I'll pass it over to Commissioner Concepcion, who's our representative to that board.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for coming and presenting this. I think, for the viewing public to understand this, America 250 is a national celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And Pennsylvania has a specific committee headed by legislators from both parties and both houses of the legislature to put forward grant opportunities for various initiatives in counties throughout Pennsylvania that add to either the historical preservation or ways that highlight the history of Pennsylvania. So this clearly fits square in the middle of, highlighting what is important history in Pennsylvania in terms of our past as with the ironworks there. That's been critical to the economy of central Pennsylvania. And, having a train station there would allow people to, come from Bellefonte or even, maybe someday from Lamont all the way through to be able to see all of the attractions there and learn more about our heritage here in central PA. So excited to support this.
Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Dershowitz.
So I guess my question, this is going to connect like the CEDACOG rail system to a
Yes.
a terminus there, and
The purpose of this is to consolidate the effort between other applicants, which you will hear from Fritz as well, the Bellefonte Historic Railroad. We are interdependent components of a larger project to create a rail destination for Centre County that links the Baltic-Nittany Valley Railroad and the Joint Rail Authority into providing rail excursions that travel across both of those rail lines out onto the Baltic Valley Railroad. So in essence, there will be potential to actually encourage trips greater than just originating in Centre County. They may originate in Tyrone to the west and Lock Haven to the east, because the Joint Rail Authority owns that line. There is already an agreement in place between the Joint Rail Authority and the Bellefonte Historical Railroad Society that stipulates how to proceed with running rail passenger service on that Baltic Valley Railroad.
okay. It sounds like a fascinating project. So.
Yeah, it is. It has the potential really to increase visitation here to Center County and also to Curtin Village as well, which, as you may know, the Roland Curtin Foundation is currently in the process of seeking acquisition of that site because the Pennsylvania Historical Museum Commission would like to return it back to local ownership. The legislation has been drafted. It's currently now in the hands of the portion, I guess that would be the General State Authority, that puts that legislation, all that wording, into the format to be introduced as a bill on the House floor. So we're getting very close. The Roland Curtin Foundation has completed all the steps necessary on their behalf to make that happen. So we're waiting for the legislation, and hopefully that will happen here in 2024. That's our goal.
Nice. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, the Eagle Furnace, I think, is the closest thing in Pennsylvania to an actual working iron furnace. You could just about fire it up tomorrow if you could get yourself the iron ore and the charcoal.
Yes, yes, and unfreeze that water wheel, which probably wouldn't turn
Yeah, it
very
wouldn't
well
turn
right
very
now.
well right now at the moment. All right, unless there's any other questions on the letter of support for Roland Curtin Foundation, we could take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the letter of support for the Roland Curtin Foundation.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support for the Roland Curtin Foundation. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Sue and Phil. And now we have Fritz here to consider a letter of support for the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau to apply through the American 250 PA for grant funding toward Tourism Historic Rail Excursion Infrastructure Development Project.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. I'm Fritz Smith, as the President and CEO of the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau. And this grant's a little bit, this request for a letter of support is for a grant from the Commonwealth from the America 250 PA group for a grant that would be a little bit out of our usual sort of box at the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau. Usually we're requesting money to market the Commonwealth, and while there may be a component of that here, or market Center County, while there may be a component of that, we're really playing a coordinating role here and really view this railroad excursion project, or the revitalization of it, as we're really playing a coordinating role in trying to connect the various sites. Some of our partners are here for that. So the America 250 proposal for the Tourism Historical Rail Excursion Infrastructure Development supports an overarching tourism historic rail excursion initiative for Center County, Pennsylvania. So we're really talking about, while Curtin Village is really focused on site improvements there, and other partners are talking about their specific sites, we're really talking about the connectivity and improving the rail line between those sites, so that ultimately, Commissioner Concepcion mentioned Lamont, we'd ultimately, in this next stage, like to be able to expand that route from Curtin Village to Lamont. The longer-term vision, as Sue said, is really to continue that Lock Haven to Tyrone excursion, but that's probably a next step beyond the America 250 project. So the Adventure Bureau, in partnership with the Center County Commissioners, Center County Historical Society, Curtin Village, Bellefonte Historical Railroad Society, Borough of State College, and other participating Center County organizations, eagerly anticipate the opportunity to showcase Pennsylvania's legacy and Happy Valley's significant contributions to the past and present during the America 250 PA initiative. The sites of the proposed historic rail excursion infrastructure development improvement project are established visitor destinations in Center County, long interpreted for their role in the development and history of the county, the Commonwealth, and the USA. The collaborative projects proposed for America 250 PA are designed to connect communities and recreational opportunities along our historic rail transportation corridors through the expansion and enhancement of visitor experiences, and will provide a unique venue to welcome the nation to visit and enjoy the upcoming, I hope I say this right, semi-quincentennial in Center County. The Happy Valley Adventure Bureau, the official tourism destination marketing organization for Center County, respectfully request the support of the Center County Commissioners for the Tourism Historic Rail Excursion Infrastructure Development Project grant. We're asking for $1 million, and it probably the biggest cost would be for purchasing railroad cars and rehabilitation of stock, railroad construction for any siding track needed to link the tourism destinations, such as relay rail, railroad ties, ballast stones, etc. Thanks for your consideration, and happy to take any questions.
Great. Well, thanks, Fritz, for kind of thinking outside the box on this one and being flexible. I know a number of other areas with the type of history that we have here in Center County do connect them by rail. Makes for a more interesting experience, a little bit different for the people from out of the county. But I know the kids in the county and surrounding counties absolutely love being on historic train cars. It's those tickets sell out like a rock concert every year when they go up.
Well, to that point, Commissioner Higgins, as you know, as you all know, we need more conductors on those train. We need more people who can drive those trains because the demand is exceeding the supply.
Yes.
So maybe CPI or some of the other schools can start training some engineers for the excursion train, because we need more if we're going to realize this vision.
Good point. Commissioner Concepcion, comments or questions?
Yeah, no, this is exciting, and I think we've already seen how successful the holiday train opportunities were with the Bellefonte Historical Railroad. So there's clearly enormous interest in this, and the community, I think, will be so excited to see this come together in the future. So.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
I would agree. I think it's a great program, and hopefully you have success in achieving the fundraising through the state that obviously should look at this, I think, quite favorably. So appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Fritz. Yeah, this project would combine transportation, recreation, economic development, and just generally improving the already high quality of life in Center County. Unless there's anything else, I think we take a motion on this one.
I'll move to approve the letter of support for the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support for the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And now we'll go to item number 3. Sorry, Beth, we added another letter of support that's not on the agenda.
One little addition to the agenda.
Yes. So our third item is a letter of support for the Center County Historical Society. We've got Mary and I think a distinguished board member with you.
Yes, we do. I'm Mary Sorensen. I'm the Executive Director of the Center County Historical Society, and I am here today with Roger Williams, who is our Historical Society President. We're here today, and I want to thank you so much for accommodating our request for letter support to the America 250 Infrastructure and Improvements Grant, and I think this is an amazing opportunity for us. We have proposed a project to acquire and convert the adjacent property to the Center Furnace Mansion, and it's the Esber property, and we hope to convert this building into a visitor museum space, event space. It can be a tenant space, and so forth. But this sits at the confluence of the Penn State University and also State College, and so it's at a perfect area for this. It also gives us an opportunity to expand our programming and what we do at the Center County Historical Society, and create the surrounding landscape into more of a park-like accessible area that would provide more of a campus feel to those that are coming into town. Our request is for over $6.5 million, and so this would accommodate not only the rehabilitation of the building, but also landscape work and interpretation that would need to be done, trails, so forth. That would need to be done. But this is an exciting project for us to think about. The Center Furnace site represents the the 18th century beginnings of the iron industry in Center County, and also the 19th century founding of the Penn State University. So I feel it's an apt location for us to move forward with something like this. And that property would have been, of course, Center Furnace lands back in the day. And so with that, Roger, do you have anything to add? Whoop, there you go.
Just an exclamation point. We are grateful for the support we've seen from the Center County Commissioners for the Center County Historical Society. The proposal that Mary has just talked about represents a moonshot for the Center County Historical Society. It would be a game changer for us, and we believe Center County. It would allow us to do a lot more in terms of contributing to the fast-growing Center County tourism economy. It would really enable us to provide a much higher level of service to Center Countians and others that we serve. It would change everything for us. You know, we benchmark with two much older historical societies, that of Chester County, which is one of the original counties in Pennsylvania, dating back to 1682, and the Cumberland County Historical Society, which was this is the second county to be established in 1750 west of the Susquehanna River. So Cumberland County in particular has a population about double that of Center County. Our membership is just about what Cumberland County has. So we think we're punching above our weight. This would allow us to become a heavyweight contender in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania with bountiful blessings for Center County in so many ways. So thank you for your consideration.
Great. Well, thank you, Mary and Roger. The commissioners enjoyed being at the unveiling of the historic marker commemorating the mansion as being the essentially the founding spot for Penn State University. Although, of course, we all know that the citizens of Bellefonte provided a lot of the funding to make that actually come to fruition. Commissioner Concepcion, questions or comments?
Yeah, just thanks for putting this application together and your commitment to preserving the history of Center County. I think we've got like really great stories to tell here about the role of Center County in the history of Pennsylvania and the United States as a whole. And this will just, you know, improve our opportunity to share that story. And I think like taking advantage of this moment of, you know, America's 250th anniversary coming up to kind of for us all to pull together around preserving our shared history and what makes Pennsylvania unique and the United States unique. It's a great moment. So, and all of you who are doing these kind of projects are really contributing in really meaningful ways. So thanks.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
I just think it's all been said. It's important. It's important that we maintain a real understanding of, and appreciation of our history, and all three projects are very good. But I think it can't be understated that this area has so much rich history that we need to make sure that we not only preserve but also market to the future generations. So, wish you all the best. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Mary and Roger. Looks like we could take a motion to approve the letter of support for the Center County Historical Society.
I will move to approve the letter of support for the Center County Historical Society.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support for the Center County Historical Society. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you very much, everyone who came for letters of support. Now, Beth, you can ask us for the sponsorship.
Okay, so I am here today to request a CNET sponsorship for the taping of or to produce a video about how to register to vote. The importance of this video is going to be that you have to be registered in Center County to vote in Center County.
Yeah.
So that's a big important note, and that you must change your address. It's very important for you as a voter to keep up with your voter registration. It's your responsibility. We can't change that unless it comes either through the DMV because you requested it there, or we've received paperwork from you. So that's two of the important key high notes on this.
Well, thanks, Beth, for asking for that sponsorship. And I know in a presidential year, we have many, many, many thousands of people registering to vote in Center County. And as you mentioned, Some of them don't register to vote in Center County, but still show up at the polling places on Election Day.
Yes.
Yeah. Commissioner Concepcion?
Yeah, thanks. I've been working with Beth on this video, and I
Yes.
think it's just really important that we're making sure that people who are voting for the first time here in Center County know what steps they need to take to make sure their vote will count this year.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Not just the first-time voters, but all voters. If you've moved and you don't have a current registration, I mean, it's only right that you maintain the proper registration. It muddies up our voter rolls if you don't, and it makes it a lot easier for us to keep track of an accurate number of active voters.
Well, and then there may not be voting in the correct precinct either. That's very important.
And then, of course, if we move the precinct, but we don't have the right address for them, they're not going to get the postcard in the mail either.
Correct.
Well, it's just important that the voter has the responsibility, as you noted, to make sure that their address is up to date. We can't change that for them, so we need to educate them to that
Yes.
point.
Yep.
Great.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. I think we can take a motion then.
I will move to approve the CNET sponsorship for producing a video on how to register to vote.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CNET sponsorship. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.
And we have a reappointment for our authorities, boards, and commissions for the Central PA Community Action Board. We have Nancy with an I, Rommel, being reappointed from January 1st of 2024 to December 31st of 2027. Unless there's any questions, I think we could take a motion on that.
I will move to approve the ABC reappointment for Nancy Rommel.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ABC reappointment for Nancy Rommel. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks. We'll
Mayor.
move on to our check run.
Okay, so the check I'd like to highlight today on the check run is for the Center for Community Resources. They provide walk-in service for mental health needs. And with that, I'd like to move that we approve the check run dated January 26, 2024.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the check run dated January 26. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any administrators report, John?
Nothing to report at this
All
time.
right. We move to our voter registration report. Back to Commissioner Concepcion.
Okay, so today, as of yesterday, the total number of registered voters in Center County is 100,802. That is up 22 from last week. Of that number, 42,284 are Democratic, 138 are Green Party, 605 are Libertarian, 13,833 have no affiliation, 40,894 are Republican, and then all others constitute 3,048 voters to make that total of 100,802. And our political party of the week is the American Independent Party. They have 2 registered voters in Center County. And this week, we're going to recognize Precinct 43, College East. They vote at Mount Nittany United Methodist on East Branch Road. And the last election, they had 862 ballots cast out of 1,738 registered voters in that precinct for a turnout of 49.6. So we'd like to recognize those who make voting possible there at College East, the poll workers, and to Mount Nittany United Methodist for allowing us to use their facility.
Great. Thanks, Amber. Let's see. Any executive sessions to report or hold, John?
No executive sessions to report. However, there is a need to meet an executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters.
All right. Our public meeting schedule, on Monday, February 5th, we've got the Housing Task Force at 2 p.m. On Tuesday, February 6th, the Board of Commissioners meeting at 10, followed by a work session at 11. And then on Thursday, February 8th, Board of Commissioners combined with the Salary Board at 10 a.m. and a Board of Elections meeting at 1 p.m. Do we have any questions from the press? And do you go by Timothy or Tim?
I go by Tim.
Tim, okay. Tim is the new reporter for WTHA.
Oh,
great.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, unless there's anything else for the good of the order, we will go into executive session.
Okay, I will move to enter executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter executive session. All those in favor of entering executive session 11:04, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. We are in executive session. Right next door, John?